All right, hey Walter, what's happening? It's Dave. Happy to be with you this virtual afternoon. I know we've been working on a lot of great songs and stuff, and I want to keep it going. So I've got this song that I want to demonstrate for you first. Then I'm going to break it down into parts, like we kind of do, like we always do. And then I just, I'll kind of explain each part, what I'm doing, and how it's done. So here, I'm going to play the song. It's the beginning. We're only going to focus on the beginning of it, beginning of Along the Watchtower. I know you were talking about Electric Ladyland as being a big inspiration, so I want to play this for you. So Along the Watchtower. We're going to use some bar chords, which are going to be a little bit tricky because they move quickly. So here we go. Just kind of have you hear how it sounds. All right, here we go. All right, so to break this down, where I was going, it's pretty fast, and it's moving quickly. So the first chord sequence is going to be that repeating pattern that we hear throughout the song. The first chord is a B major. I like to use my pinky finger down here. Now we've talked about the bar chords before, right? We talked about the major bar chord here with my middle finger down. This chord is a B chord, so its root is right here, 2nd fret, 5th string. So if my pointer finger is here and I'm playing that root, I know that you kind of like to use your ring finger for the rest of it, whatever is most comfortable for you. In this position, personally, I like to collapse my hand a little bit and strengthen up my pinky finger by getting it right there. What I'm doing is I'm doing like a bar chord, okay? I'm getting 1, 2, and I'm kind of laying it down, I'm getting 3. But I'm not going all the way down. I'm not getting really that. So here's what it sounds like. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and I'm just playing those strings with my right hand. I'm playing the 1, 2, 3. So here's how it sounds. It sounds more like that power chord. Now, the next chord that I'm going to do is going to be from B to C sharp. So this is going to be, when we think of sharps and flats, I like to think of in between the dots. So even though it's a C sharp minor, just kind of think about it being in between the 3rd fret and the 5th fret. So I'm moving in between here, B, and I want to get, I'm going to play this twice, 1, 2, 3. So what I want to do is really move and sync my right hand, my picking hand, to play at the moment that I get this down. So it's going to sound like 1, don't move, 2, move, 3. So my right hand is in sync. 1, 2, 3. See, I was a little bit late on that. 1, 2, 3. So I want you to be practicing this. 1, 2, 3. Now this is minor because it's on the 5th fret root right here. Although your fingers look like the major form. Remember our major bar chord? I'm playing an A major here, right? A major, right, with my middle finger down. So this one's gonna be our minor. Now this note right here, I kind of want to hear because that's the key note. It makes the chord sounds like it's changing from a major to a minor. So even though it's happening really quickly, it's still an important note to get or to have you play correctly and so that you can hear it. So here I'll play it again, slow it down. 1, 2, then change 3. 1, 2. And this one, I'm going to try to get, can you hear this note right here? 1, 2, 3. So you see my pointer finger here, my index finger, it just kind of slid down. So I'm going 1, 2, 3. these two fingers collapse. 1, 2, 3. So it's going to be good practice to get from that major to a minor. Okay? Without hesitating, without going and then getting it down. You want to make that kind of seamless. So 1, 2, 3. Then from there, that's going to be going in a circular progression. It's going to be repeating, repeating, repeating. And I'm only going to actually add one more chord. So I'll show you the first part. It's 1, 2, 3. Now ready for the repeating pattern. And I'm going to play it 3 times for each chord. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Actually, I lied there for a second. The B chord on the in the progression, I do only play it 2 times. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So what did I add there? What chord is this? This is our famous A chord. Okay, famous only because it's kind of the most popular in rock and roll. So B to A is actually really, really easy. I'm kind of just rotating my wrist. B, 1, 2, 3. Remember, I'm not getting my the full chord there. 1, 2. Now, where's my index finger right here? Where's my pointer finger? It's actually already where it needs to be, but I need to shift it a little bit. Okay, so it's B with my root here, and I want to shift it to my A chord right there. So I'll go back to the beginning. 1, 2, change, and now I'm going to play it in shifts of, we'll call it 3 because that's where the feeling, that's where the beat is going, the tempo is going. But 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So what am I doing in this pattern that I'm moving around and I'm just repeating? I actually begin the pattern here on a C sharp minor. So 1, 2, 3, back to B, 1, 2, and then A, 1, 2, 3 with a quick shift. And now I'm going to go back to B for 2. 1, 2, 3. So actually the beginning of this cycle is right here on a C sharp minor. Okay, so I'll kind of play it in regular time, just so you can watch my hands moving quickly. Watch my hands moving quickly. Listen for the feel of it. You know this song. I know this song. We all know this song. So when you play along with the song, it may sound a little different. I'll get to that in a minute. But here it is in real time. We're going to go into that little lead guitar riff that sounds awesome. It's really difficult to play on the acoustic guitar, but if you just know where you're going and your fingers get into that habit of playing it on the acoustic guitar, when you get onto that electric guitar, it's going to sound awesome and it's going to be a lot easier. But again, let me just kind of go back to the main circular riff. 1, 2, change. And now I'm actually going to begin the circular pattern. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Now, if you take a look at my right hand, what I'm doing right here, I'm not getting too detailed with it. I'm adding a couple little ups and downs, and I don't want that to be confusing. What I'm actually going to be doing is just 1, 2, 3. Now, I may even lay my hand down to mute, but you don't have to do that. We don't want a full type of strum. We don't want this to be ringing. We want this to be rock. This is Hendrix. So watching my right hand, I'll play this circular pattern again, and pay attention to what I'm doing here. I'm really giving it some kind of sharp 1, 2, 3. I'm really using my thumb and my index finger a lot, and I'm not really using the up and down motion from my elbow. This is going to be something that's really important on the electric guitar, but also it just sounds awesome on the acoustic. So here you go. All right, did you hear how I kind of gave it a little in the middle? Well, that's me keeping time with my right hand. I'm feeling like a drummer on this. I'm like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, and my hand's just going 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and I'm just going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and this hand is just doing it like a drummer. So the more you can kind of get in the habit of playing, using your right hand like a drummer would, you can start to put in those little, because I'm playing the drums with it. Don't try to focus too much on adding that in, but you want to get your right hand in the game and playing 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. You want to be playing that rhythm precisely. And I'm just giving it a little bit here. All right, let's go into that next section. This is going to be really challenging but fun, and it'll give you something to work with for sure for quite a while. This next little solo section, I wouldn't put or I wouldn't give yourself a timeline of learning this in like a day or two, but just take it one little step at a time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of break it down by the fret number and the string. So fortunately, you're really not going to be using your 4th string, your 5th string, or your 6th string here. So it's really going to be mostly on your highest 3 strings. You have one little note that's going to pop up on the 4th, but for all intents and purposes, we're really going to be focusing here. Now, I mentioned C sharp minor, right? So C sharp minor, if you remember the pentatonic, we know we've been talking about the pentatonic scale a lot, right? We got the pattern. Now, if I walk down the fretboard, I'm going to just start right here. So this is G, A, right? Here's our B. Our C, think like a piano. B and C are right next to each other, so I'm going to say B, C is here. Where's C sharp? One more fret, right here. So if you started on the 9th fret, okay, and you started on the 6th string, using the awesome pattern that we've been playing around with a lot, but remember, this is the minor pentatonic. So again, we'll just... Okay, now that's the basics. That's the foundation of what Jimmy is doing. But remember when we talked about doing a little extension to this scale? Because I mean, you know, it's kind of lateral, right? It's not moving out of this box. But remember those extensions that we did, and we did the extensions right here. I'm going to show you one of those extensions. Now I'm going to slide. I'm using my pinky on that, but I can do it a few different ways. If you can see, here's the C sharp note stretched up here. And I'm going to do the same here. Okay, let's do a little bit of that extension again. Now this time, I'm actually going to use my middle finger, and I'm going to slide up. And now I've got access to that extension right here. So here it is. I'm going to use a little trickery on you to show you a good way that Jimmy does this. Different finger. Okay, now I'm going to slide up 2. And now I have my extension, and I don't have to use my pinky finger. Okay? So here's one more time. Okay? So that's the extension that Jimmy's doing on this opening riff, this opening lead riff. And let me back it up. Let's stop right there. This is going to be the first note in this lead riff in the intro. And that's why we want to use our middle finger on this, okay? Because we're going to... Can you kind of hear it already? Oh yeah, right there. Now remember we talked about some slides? So Jimmy on the electric does these big slides. He's like, from like way back here. But here's where I think might be best. Using your middle finger, remember we did this? Starting here. So I want you to start with your middle finger on the 11th fret. 11th fret, here's 2, 12, 11, on the 3rd string. And we're just going to do a 2 fret slide. So just think about the extension we were doing, right? That's going to be our first 3 notes. Okay, and all I'm really doing is playing that extension. Slide into extension, continue with the extension. And now here's what I'm going to do to make it really Hendrixy. And I'm going to bend up 3 times. So I'm going to start here. 1. You don't have to do the little vibrato at the end, but this is 1, 2, 3. Slide, slide 2, 1, 2. Okay, we're gonna let that last one kind of hold out for a little bit. 1, 2. Now, this is a really cool way for you to practice these bend. It hurts, man. Check out my fingertips. Ow! It's chewing up my fingers. And it's probably going to chew up your fingers too. But once you get onto an electric guitar, it's going to sound incredible. But this is totally the way to strengthen up your fingers. So what I can hear is, that's not right. Still not right. Almost there. There it is. Now the way I can test it is I'm going to go up 2 frets. Ooh, actually... There it is right there. So I can test it here by saying I'm bending up. There it is right there. Whew. My gosh. 1. Now I can hear that's the same note. So I'm going to play that one more time, bending it 3 times, and you're going to have to use your ear to get you to where that bent note is. Ready? There it is right there. Can you hear it? Okay, now the second part of this. He's basically coming back down. And actually it's only 3 on that. 1, 2, 3. So what did I do? I held the bend. So I came back down, back to the 12th fret, back to the 13th fret, and then I played 3 times on the 11th fret here. And I gave it a little bit of a vibrato at the end because that's very Hendrixian. Okay, one more time. Okay, so it's a little bit of a up with a soft back. Okay, softly going back. 1, 2, 3. Now here's where I'm going to change my fingers up again. And there's another part of this riff. So I'm going to play into it like this. So I'm going to slide. Now I need to move my finger back this way because I want to be in position with my index finger. Where am I again? I'm just in this C sharp minor pentatonic scale. So now here's a little bit of a tricky one. Slide up, back, and back, and slide up, back, Back to where you started. So I'm going to play bend, regular note, bend, bend. So slide back, up, bend, regular, bend, bend, bend. Slide back, up, bend, regular, bend, bend. I'm trying to, I'm like making that sound, the words along with the tone there. Slide back, regular. Now it's going to be a little bit harder, actually a lot bit harder, to bend on this third string on an acoustic guitar. It's something that if it doesn't happen right away, I can feel it in my fingers already. Just keep on working on it. Okay? And I'm going to play a little bit of this. Okay, and I love that little blues riff. Slide up. I can give that a little bit of a vibrato. You don't have to. And now for the last part. And now here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay my index finger down. I'm going to lay it down, and I'm going to use a little bit of a hammer-on. Remember we did those. These are super fun. But I'm going to do a quick little hammer-on. If you watch what I'm doing here is with both hands. So I'm playing the hammer on the B string here, but this finger's already in action, so I'm going to use my pick and I'm going to hit it on the up. Okay? Hammer, pull off, and with my right hand I'm getting this on the up, but I don't have to do anything. It's already there. I'm going to go back to that riff just before it. Okay? All right. One more time. Oops. So it's really fast. I want you to keep practicing that. I'm doing my little head bob to that, but it's kind of just fun to play. And now the last note is really where this riff sings and ties it all together. Okay? And that's the end of it. Okay? What note am I bending up to? What note do you think I'm bending up to? Right here. Right here. So this is a C sharp minor. So what is Jimmy doing? He's bending up to this note, which is C sharp. Okay? So he's tying it in all together at the end. And here's how that last riff sounds, right? And I can let that hold. I've got the note in my head, and it matches with this right here. So after this note here, it goes into the verses, then it goes into the chorus, but really it's still just this. And there you have it. This is a tough one, Walter. Don't get don't get too frustrated with it. It's a lot of fun, and it's going to take some time. And I can't wait to play it with you. But it's all about working with the circular motion. And this is something that is so fun for us. I hope it's going to be fun for us to jam on. I will just play that for hours. I'll play it for days. Hendrix for days. And you know where that scale is. And Jimmy's just using the C sharp minor. But he's using it with an extension. Switch fingers. So it's really fun to play. I can't wait to jam on this with you. One more time, just to kind of have you hear it again. But I know that you'll love playing it. So. There you go. Fingers are hurting. So, Walter, I miss you, buddy. I hope everything's going well. Just stay healthy, stay happy. Just keep playing the guitar. Play all the cool stuff. Just have fun with everything that you're doing. Write some new songs. Take some of those chords that we've been working on. Just have fun with them. Switch them up. Play those bar chords. And show me what you got when we can do this together. I miss you, buddy. Talk to you later.